Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Forza 3, or Horizon 3 in particular, speed build. And this particular car is a very popular JDM model of a slightly earlier generation. It's not an old car by any means, but still a very popular one nonetheless. The Nissan R32 Skyline. Very popular as a track car on any game, and of course in real life as well. Now, as far as the upgrades on this model, and actually as far as most of the Skylines, the engine conversion options that you have to work with tend to be quite similar. Now, I would recommend the 6.2 V8 conversion. Of course, I would recommend keeping the all-wheel drive. If you want rear-wheel drive specifically, then of course that's down to you, but I wouldn't really recommend it for flat-out performance. Of course you want the twin-turbo. As far as the visuals, it's down to you. Changing wings, etc., that's down to personal preference. Likewise with the wheels. Apart from that, obviously you want to lower the weight, increase the power, basically fit everything that has race written on it. It goes without saying that's going to improve the car. Some things be more careful with, like anti-roll bars or the full roll cage. Some cars that'll help with, others it won't hinder, but it adds a little bit too much weight. It can hinder your launch off the line. So it depends. It's down to what it individually does with the particular car that you're working with. In the case of a GT-R, you don't necessarily need it because they're already so good through corners. Now, as far as the performance on this car, acceleration is strong, not necessarily phenomenal for top-end performance. 240 miles per hour or close enough is not bad, of course, but it's not as quick as many of the other cars in the game. That being said, it's not a car which people tend to use for top-end performance as much anyway. It's more of a grip-based car, which is more about acceleration than top-end performance, but this tune allows you to have that top-end performance for when you do happen to need it. Now, as far as the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 2.8, then individual gears of 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.15, 0.95 and 0.78, so a very simple setup, nothing radical there. Alignment we've got on neutral camber and toe, as I almost always do. If you want some camber or toe, you can go for that if you want to, but it's just not really necessary on most cars, not for my style of driving at least. I've gone for 5 degrees of caster. You could go higher if you want the car to be stiffer, or vice versa if you want it to be more loose. Anti-roll we've got on 37 and 34, springs on 155 and 140 with the lowest ride height, which in the case of an R34 still isn't really that low. It's still got a decent amount of ground clearance. As far as dampers, we've got those on 15, 12, 6.5 and 5.5. Aero doesn't apply, of course, unless you fit those wings. And for the diff, we've got 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel. But as always, feel free to mess around with those settings, find what works better for you, or just an alternative. And as far as the center split, we've got 72% going to the back end. So you get the benefit of the all-wheel drive, of course, for launch, off-road ability, all that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's not overly heavy on the front end. So it still allows you to drift the car, to have fun with it, to have the maneuverability that you'd want from an all-wheel drive car. So overall, although it's not quite as quick as some of the other cars which we've done, it's certainly a highly competitive car as an all-rounder. So if you decide to use this tune or get it from my storefront using the keywords down below, either way, I hope you have a lot of fun with it. And overall, that's it for this tune, and I'll see you guys next time. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.